welcome to another Unfiltered Q&A. If you don't know me, my name is Neethi. I put a question box on my Instagram story asking you guys for your raw and unfiltered questions, and we are here answering them without looking at them today. I did one of these videos a couple weeks ago and you guys ate it up and you guys loved it, and I just think I have a lot more fun doing this anyways. So we are back with a part 2. Without further ado, let's just get into the questions. We got so many. Like, we're gonna talk about girly shit, we're gonna talk about periods, we're gonna talk about boys, we're gonna talk about attachment, we're gonna talk about friendship breakups, everything. So question number 1. Have you ever stayed in something you knew wasn't right for you because you were attached? I'm smiling because yes, I have stayed in something that wasn't meant for me because I was too attached. I think sometimes this is the story of my freaking life. Listen, I do think that there is a difference. I think we can often get attached to people who are not actually the person that we're meant to be with or are not good for us. And it actually happens a lot more than you think, based on your attachment style. So as someone who used to have anxious attachment, I was really always wanting attention, wanting to need a man. And I would go for men who are emotionally unavailable. That's just like the dynamic between like anxious attached and avoidant attached. It always works like that. The anxious girls, they love the avoidant men who don't give them the time of day, who don't give them all the love they need, who keep them in a chasing mode, who keep them on their toes, because those mimic their childhood. A lot of the girls, like me, for example, when I was younger, I feel like I always had to like earn love, or I always had to chase it, or like it was very minimal. I got it sometimes I didn't. So I'd always go for the men who mimic that. So I can think of many men, like 2 or 3 that I stayed attached to. Even now sometimes, like if I see them in person, like my heart drops, and like you can tell that I still have that little bit of attachment left, even though I know better. Like, I don't know if it always goes away. I don't hit up men anymore that I'm like, that are not meant for me, but attachment is a freaking addiction, bro. It's like a gambling addiction because you're getting intermittent dopamine, intermittent love from that person. So that's what keeps you hooked. That's why you were attached. You have to really break out of the attachment. I think the step number 1 to that is understanding your attachment style, understanding why you were attached. I have so many videos on that. And then understanding like why you've chosen that person to be attached to. And then really just like reminding yourself why they are not your person. How do you know if a guy actually likes you or just likes the attention? Guys love attention. Let me just tell you that. The way that you're gonna know if a guy actually likes you or he just likes the attention is he consistent? If a guy just likes the attention, it's like a dopamine hit again. Like, he's getting the attention from you and then he's probably good for a couple days and he comes back for the attention. Whereas a guy who genuinely likes you, like, they wanna know about your day, they wanna know about what's going on in your life, they wanna be consistently talking to you, they wanna consistently see you, they wanna plan dates. You'll know the difference in your gut. The guy who loves you is investing in you. Someone who just wants attention, they're not investing in you. They just want to get something from you. They just want to get a feel good. They want to get a hit from you. So that's going to look like messaging you here and there, seeing if you like their stories, seeing if you comment on their photos, seeing if you respond to them, seeing if you'll seeing if you'll hang out with them when they're bored or whenever they want you to be. A man who likes you shows up. A man who likes you is consistent. A man who likes you cares about your day, cares about your friends, cares about what's going on in your life, your goals, your family. And you want to stay away from the men who just want attention, because insecure men are the ones that need the attention. Insecure men are the ones that need a girl to respond to them in order to get that hit and to feel good, because they're not secure in themselves. Think about it, even a girl. If we need men for attention, there's clearly a lack in us, right? It's the same thing goes for men. Guy who needs attention is the guy that you want to stay the farthest away from, bro. The guys who need attention are not secure in themselves. You want to stay the fuck away from them. Do you think all of your friends should be on the same wavelength as you? Ooh, this is a hard one. Y'all, I struggle with this one. Yes and no. I'm gonna say that I think that your close circle, your inner circle, needs to be on the same wavelength as you, but I don't think that every single friend needs to be on the same wavelength as you. They say that the 5 people you are surrounded by, you become most liked. I think that they need to be on the same wavelength as you. When I say that, I mean like similar mindsets, similar goals, similar way of thinking, abundance, like, you know what I mean? For example, I'm such a big manifestor. I have such a growth mindset. For me, like, a small, stable, normal life is just not what I want for myself. Like, I dream freaking big. Yesterday, my friend was on FaceTime with me and I'm like, next year you and I are going to be at Coachella with a brand. Because those are my goals and those are my dreams. And for a lot of people, like, those are just not things that they want. Those are just not things that are on their mind. They don't think that they deserve it. Some people just like are okay with a basic life. Same with dating. Like, you know, I think that I don't need to settle. There's a man out there. I want ambition. I want this. And so I surround myself with friends, close friends, who think a lot like me, who have that growth mindset, who believe in manifestation. If I tell them something's going wrong, they can remind me, like, you're that girl, or trust the universe, right? If you don't have friends that even think like that, then like they're not gonna remind you of your own beliefs, right? If I believe in manifestation, I believe in law of attraction. I need a friend who's going to remind me of the law of attraction when I need to be reminded. I definitely think that I've made a couple of videos about me losing a lot of friends lately, and I truly think that that's the universe taking friends out of my life that are just not on my frequency, that are not on my wavelength. Maybe they're disrupting me, maybe they're just not meant to come to my next chapter. So I do think that for the most part, especially when you meet somebody who's on the same wavelength as you, same mindset, same goals, like it doesn't have to be like the exact same career or like exact same goals, but just like way that they think, the way that they go about life, maybe the way that they take care of their body. For example, I work out a lot and I take care of my health a lot. I love being around people who also do that. Keep the friends that are on the same wavelength as you because they're not easy to find. Now, that being said, I do also have friends that we relate on other things and we are not necessarily on the same wavelength with a lot of things. I'm a content creator, so I have certain content creator friends and we have a lot in common because we talk a lot about content, we talk a lot about strategy. It's kind of like a colleague, it's like work. But that doesn't mean we're on the same wavelength on a deep level. But they're still my friends. I have going out friends. I have friends that I have the time of my life with when I go out with. They are a freaking blast. But that doesn't mean we're on the same wavelength. Because I go out maybe like once every 2 months, they're out every week. So it doesn't mean we're on the same wavelength, but they can still be my friend. I also do have, I'd say like 1 or 2 friends from when I was very, very young who I do think we're on different wavelengths. We have different mindsets, different things we want out of life, different values sometimes, but I do sometimes keep them around just because like we have such a long history, and I'm not saying that you should do that as well. There's a good and a bad side to doing that, but I keep them at an arm's length. Those are not my everyday friends that I speak to. It's kind of like I get a dose of them every couple months or something. So I think the most important thing is that you need to be clear in your head where these friends like. There was literally something that I saw where like you should make like circles. There's you in the middle, there's your inner circle, there's your medium circle, and then there's your outer circle. Your inner circle I think should all be on the same wavelength as you. We can have friends on your medium circle, on your outer circle who are not necessarily on the same wavelength as you, but they're still friends, you know? So just be clear, maybe draw that out. Where do all of my friends stay? And based on that, how much effort do I give them? Based on that, how much importance do I give them? How much time do I spend with them? Because the friends that you want to be spending the most time with should be in the same wavelength as you. I went through a breakup and lost my confidence after being with him for years. How do I find myself again and build it back up? The amount of times that I have heard this question, why is it that every freaking time you're in a relationship, your confidence is broken down? I wish I like understood the science behind this. When I think about it and when I talk to people, what I think the reason is that when you're with someone, you fight a lot, maybe they don't make you feel pretty, they say a lot of hurtful things to you, and you're stuck with that person for years and you're not really interacting with other men or like maybe a lot of other friends and stuff. So your confidence becomes dependent, or not dependent. Your confidence becomes heavily like reliant sometimes on that one man or that one person. And so when that person starts to like, when you're fighting, when they don't give you reassurance or when they start name calling you and the relationship goes to shit, your confidence also goes down. How do you find yourself again and build it back up? Listen, baddies pick themselves up quick, okay? Baddies get up quick. You are going to have a glow up. Yes, you're sad, but you are going to build a life around you that you absolutely love. You are going to keep yourself busy. You are going to start remembering all the dreams that you had before him, all the dreams that you had during being with him, all the goals that you had that you never started, that you never finished. You're going to fill your day up with doing those goals. Monday, I go to pottery. Wednesday, I go to knitting. Tuesday, I go to dance class because I miss dancing. You're going to work out. You're going to start eating healthy. You're going to become obsessed with yourself. How do I become a better version of me? How do I look better? How do I feel better? How do I think better? How do I have better friends? How do I have better work? How do I have a better career? How do I make more money? That's all that's going to consume your mind from now on. Surround yourself with friends. I do think that like when you go through a breakup and like when you're finding yourself, friendships are so important. Surround yourself with good friends. Friends that pick you up, friends that gas you up, friends that remind you who the fuck you are because did you forget? Spend every weekend with them. As much time as you can. You need novelty in your life. You need to separate your identity from who you were with him to who you are, this brand new bitch now, okay? Because when you're still stuck in that identity but without him, you're just gonna be sucked back in. You need to have this new identity, new friends, new hobbies, new environments. Maybe you move, maybe you start going on walks, maybe you are all of a sudden a part of a book club. You need new identities that are not related to that old part of you, and then you need to step more into that identity. The piece of advice that I give everybody is do not forget who the fuck you were. You were somebody before him, you were somebody during him, but you're also somebody after him. You have a full life, you have a full personality, you have hobbies, you have goals. You were meant for so much in this life. And also remind yourself that if this was meant to be, you would not be sitting here feeling like this right now. So that's not meant to be. That's in the past. We're not even opening that back up. Take it as an opportunity to glow the fuck up. I went through a breakup 3 years ago. It's been a little over 3 years now. And I felt like absolute shit. I did get to a point where like I ended up breaking up with him, so it was a little bit different because I was just like not happy for many, many years, but I felt like a shell of myself. You know what I did? I started posting TikToks because I never did that when I was with him, and now look at my career. I'm a full-time influencer. If I did not break up with him, I would have never had the time and the energy and started this new path. And look at how happy I am, and look at how much my life changed. Not to say that that is like he didn't let me do that, but like I now had the time, I had the energy and the freedom to just like do what I wanted. And like that became my identity. Neeti Sharma, the content creator, became my new identity. And I've been in that ever since. I don't feel like going back to that version of me like Neeti Sharma, so-and-so's ex-girlfriend. So-and-so's girlfriend, I mean. You know? You need to start doing the things that you never did. I also just like had a lot of fun after I broke up with him. I forced myself to be out. I forced myself to have fun. I forced myself to live my best life. Do you think you can be friends with girls you secretly feel insecure around? Ooh, this one's tea. I need to think about this. Yo, okay. One thing I want to say is that a little amount of jealousy and a little amount of insecurity is not always bad. I think that it's a natural human emotion. I've talked about this before. Like, being jealous is not something that's necessarily bad. It's a human emotion. Like, if you feel jealousy towards somebody, it's because they have something that you want. So what is that telling you about yourself? It's telling you, I want that thing, and it is going to happen for me. If they can have it, I can also have it. But it's not about putting them down and not liking them. That's where I think jealousy gets like the bad rep. I think if you feel insecure about other girls around you, you need to ask yourself why, and what specifically do they have that you want, and how can you make yourself feel like you already have that. You don't want to be feeling insecure about your friends, because I don't think that that's a healthy friendship, because you're basically looking at them as like above you in a certain way. You don't want to be sending them negative energy. You don't want to be coming across jealous, and you also don't deserve to be feeling inferior. So to me, this is just looking like you have work to do on yourself. Write down like what it is about them that you're insecure about, that's making you feel insecure. Like, what do they have that you want or you feel like you deserve, and how can you give that to yourself? Whether it's looks, how can you start making yourself feel like you're beautiful if you think that they're beautiful? It's not about looking like them and being like them. It's about finding that feeling that you see in them within you. Maybe you're jealous of them having a boyfriend. Okay, like that's fair. It's natural to want a boyfriend. Like, I don't need to be insecure about the fact that they have a boyfriend and I don't have one, because I love myself. What are some self-love practices I can do? And what is some reassurance that I can give me that I will have a boyfriend one day? When the right person is meant for me, I will have a boyfriend. You know, like, how can I remind myself of that rather than sitting there feeling insecure about you? I will say that it's more about you having to do internal work rather than stop being friends with them. But I always say, like, if you don't feel good energy towards somebody, like, try to stay away from them, because you never want to give somebody bad energy. Like, I just don't believe in that. Okay, the last one is a juicy one. My boyfriend wants me to go on birth control, but I don't like what it's going to do to my body. Should I do it or should I not? Ooh, Carrie. Damn. Listen, I think you guys know what I'm going to say. Never do something to your own body based on what a man wants you to do for his own pleasure. I don't know about like your intimate like life and how aligned you feel with going on birth control, and if you feel like it's necessary, if you feel like you're gonna get pregnant and that's not okay right now. Like, I don't know all the details, but all I'm gonna say is do not let somebody pressure you into going on it or influence you, because at the end of the day, you have to figure out why he's doing it. He's doing it because it's his own pleasure, right? But I will say I'm actually getting off birth control after like literally being on and off of it for like 10 years. And I'm going through a lot. My body's going through a lot. I don't know if you can see like face is swollen because I'm going through a lot with getting off of this pill. And I'm having some mood swings. I have irregular periods. There's weight changes. There's insane amounts of crying that I've done. It fucks with your neurochemistry. Like, go watch a podcast on birth control. There's one by Jay Shetty with an OBGYN. Go watch that. I'm not even against birth control because I've been on it. I was on it for acne. But educate yourself on the effects of birth control and make a decision based on what you want for you. And if you already know, like, I don't want to do this to myself, I don't want to be on it, then don't. There are other solutions. Your body and your mind is going to change, and that's a lot, you know, just to do for somebody else's pleasure. If you want to do it, it should be for you, not for somebody else. And I don't like the idea of guys pressuring girls to do that because they don't have to go through what birth control does to you. I'm actually saying this because I'm freshly coming off of it, and like I'm really like sensitive about that subject because it's a lot that you put your body me through. So I would say to him, like, you know, hey, it's my decision. It makes a lot of changes to your body, and I'm going to do what I feel is right. And in fact, that's a great test for if he respects you and if he respects your boundaries. That's all I'm going to say. All right, baddies. We are done with our Q&A. I hope that you guys like these questions. I love to give you my unfiltered answers, and there was a juicy one, especially that last one. I also wanted to mention that I am throwing a girls IRL April 25th. It's coming up. This video should be out by then. And that is a community in Toronto of South Asian women. We are actually going to be doing a panel with a naturopathic doctor, a great place to meet like-minded girls. Super fun. I'm going to be there, and they're always sold out, so you can look at that in the description. It's coming up. I also post shorter form content on TikTok and Instagram, which you can see here. And yeah, I will be back next week. DM me your questions if you have not. Did I just burp? All right, DM me them. Love you. Bye.